So in terms of looking at the proposed harm, there has been much discussion about the proposed, the characteristics of the project and whether they are sufficient to ensure that there would not be proposed harm. So when I look at a couple of facts that strike me about the characteristics of this project, for example, much is discussed in terms of the cap rock, which has been described to me as a rock layer that goes over the layer where the gas would be stored. And the thickness of the cap rock in the Glen Elder neighborhood in the floor and field is 150 to 300 feet. Contrast that, for example, with Playa Del Rey, which is in the Los Angeles area, where the thickness of the cap rock is 1,500 feet. The depth of the field in the Florida area that we're discussing is 3,800 feet. The depth of the field in Playa Del Rey is 6,100 feet. I would also note that Playa Del Rey has been cited as one area that is perhaps one comparison to the proposed Glen Elder neighborhood, because it also does have some residents on top of it, although I would note not nearly as many residents as does the Glen Elder neighborhood. There are over 700 houses right over the proposed gas storage field. So while the injection site is across the street off the Power Inn Road, and the injection site is much closer to the Army Depot, right across the street begins the Danny Nunn Park and a neighborhood with over 700 houses. There are many fewer houses than that in the Playa Del Rey area. And I would also note that gas storage started in the Playa Del Rey area by the federal government in 1942 as part of our wartime effort to store gas for purposes of the war. And it was the federal government who condemned the underground resources to take those resources for gas storage, and then the houses were built subsequently. I also understand that when many of those houses were built, that some of them were built with protective layers, with gas venting, etc. And so one contrast I find here is that you have many, many more houses that are in the Florida neighborhood, and these houses are pre-existing houses that do not have, nor were they built with impermeable layers to try to prevent gas from venting up into them, nor the proposals for extensive venting near any of the houses.